We got Sophie the Trophy, one half of the Blonde Bombers, coming out and exposing her truth with this Bria Hartley situation, and she's also letting it be known the behind the scenes and what's really going on with Caitlin Clark's injury.
Sophie Cunningham just flipped the entire conversation on its head. Forget the bad refs, forget the cheap shots. This is something bigger, something scarier. The chatter now: Caitlin Clark possibly walking away from the WNBA. Let that sink in. The league's brightest star, the very heartbeat of its future, and suddenly whispers of her leaving are exploding into headlines. Would you stand by Caitlin if she decided she'd had enough? Because here's where it gets unreal. Sophie didn't just stir the pot, she poured gasoline on it. She hinted Caitlin's WNBA career could be shorter than anyone ever imagined. Now fans are spiraling into panic, and honestly, who can blame them? This doesn't feel overblown, it feels inevitable. Caitlin Clark isn't a rookie anymore. She's in her second year. Yet night after night she's been battered, fouled, hunted like prey. The league has failed to protect its star, and then they act surprised when Sophie suggests Caitlin might actually quit? Surprised. They've practically been begging for this outcome. And here's the kicker. Sophie Cunningham, fined over and over again, the league's own ATM machine, is still bold enough to say what everyone else is thinking. Caitlin's future in this league is a ticking clock, and none of us know when it strikes midnight.
No, everyone keeps asking, everyone's like, you know, and I'm like, literally, she doesn't even know. Like, it's just like a day by day legit type of thing. And so, yeah, she's close, but like, you also have to remember, like, she could be playing if it wasn't in the WNBA by now, but like at this level, with how deep and like how good people are nowadays in our league, which is the best it's ever been, like you can't just be good. You have to be on top of your game. And so just trying to get her back in game shape, I think, is what they're trying to do. But like, again, it's literally a day by day. I'm not holding out any information.
Then Sophie dropped the line that sent chills through every fan base. Caitlin herself doesn't even know when she's coming back from her injury. The official term is day by day, sure, but we all know how that story goes. Day by day turns into week by week, and before you know it, the whispers shift into a single devastating phrase: season over. You don't need a doctor's degree to see the cracks forming. Something's off. Something isn't being told. And if the league is hiding the truth, what happens when the truth finally explodes?
She also would be able to play if this was not sumo wrestling, if this was not UFC, if you guys did not play rugby in these basketball games. She'd probably be able to get out there and do her thing. But she has to put on all this armor, which caused her to get hurt anyway. She had to put on all this armor because y'all don't play basketball. It is rugby out there.
But Sophie didn't stop there. She delivered the dagger. She claimed Caitlin could probably already be playing if it weren't for the WNBA. Let that sink in. In another league, maybe even another sport, Caitlin would be unleashed, lighting up the scoreboard like always. But here, she's stuck, smothered by inconsistent refereeing, weighed down by politics that feel pettier than high school drama. Instead of celebrating the fact that Caitlin sells out every arena she touches, fans are left questioning the unthinkable. Will she even step back on the court this season? Or worse, will she decide not to return at all?
Look, listen, Sophie, I love you trying to hold it down. We love that you were trying to hold it down. We wish you a speedy recovery. But as far as what's going on in the WNBA, we are on them. We gonna stay on them. It's not gonna change. It's not gonna change. We're on today nonsense.
So let's not sugarcoat it. Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. The moment she stepped onto the hardwood, ratings surged. Tickets vanished. Merchandise flew off shelves. Without her, the shine disappears, the seats go empty, and the league slides back into the shadows. Caitlin dragged a spotlight onto women's basketball, but that light is unforgiving. It reveals every flaw, every bias, every crack in the system. Fans see the referees playing favorites. They see the punishments handed out like a stacked deck. They see certain stars, like Paige Buchers, getting protection while Caitlin gets hacked, shoved, and then whistled the moment she dares to speak up. And the longer this continues, the more that spotlight shifts, not on Caitlin's greatness, but on the league's failure. So the real question lingers. How much longer will she take it before she decides enough is enough?
I love Paige to death. Do not get me wrong. I think, like, again, I think she's a hell of a player and, like, would love to play with her one day. But those refs were giving her every freaking whistle last night. Like, you literally couldn't touch her. Couldn't touch her. And that shit is so annoying to me.
Sophie Cunningham exposed the WNBA's ugliest double standard when she revealed that even mentioning Paige Bueckers earns her a fine, while Angel Reese can openly accuse Caitlin Clark of having a special whistle without consequence. Coaches can rant about officiating and walk away untouched, but Sophie dares to highlight favoritism and her paycheck shrinks. A targeting so obvious that fans are left wondering if Caitlin herself is being singled out. Because Caitlin Clark is not the type to waste her prime years being battered by referees and resented by teammates. She's too smart, too competitive, too fiery, and if she feels the league is breaking her body and draining her mind, why wouldn't she look elsewhere? In Europe, players are paid more, respected more, and often officiated better, meaning Caitlin could instantly become the highest-paid women's basketball player alive, torching defenses in Spain or Turkey while American fans stay up at 2 a.m. to stream her games, leaving the WNBA to choke on the embarrassment of losing its biggest star before her third season. But her options don't end there. Caitlin has already hinted at her passion for golf. And what if she went the Paige Spiranak route? Building a brand, landing massive sponsorships, and maybe even playing professionally? She wouldn't need to dominate the LPGA to cash in. Her presence alone would be enough to generate tens of millions without ever risking another elbow to the face, which is why the league's greatest nightmare isn't Caitlin going overseas. It's Caitlin walking away completely and fans cheering her on for protecting herself when the WNBA never did. Because while Maya Moore and Liz Cambage left, Caitlin Clark is different. She is the biggest phenomenon women's basketball has ever seen, and if she bails, it's not a ripple but an earthquake. And the warning signs are everywhere: vague day-to-day injury updates, skipped film sessions, Sophie admitting no one knows what's really wrong, the league spinning empty phrases while fans recognize the incompetence, and Caitlin silently wondering if this fight is worth it. And that's only the physical toll, because mentally she carries more weight than Simone Biles, Naomi Osaka, or Serena Williams ever did. She is the face of Nike, State Farm, Gatorade, ESPN, and the WNBA itself. Unable to buy coffee without a line forming, her every foul or missed shot dissected online until the pressure becomes unbearable, making Sophie's hints about her stepping away feel less like exaggeration and more like reality. Because if Caitlin walked tomorrow, fans wouldn't blame her, they'd celebrate her, and the league would crumble overnight, attendance collapsing, TV ratings vanishing, sponsorships drying up, the Caitlin Clark effect, revealed as the only thing keeping the WNBA alive, and Sophie Cunningham's words turning from speculation into prophecy. Because if the league keeps protecting Paige Bueckers while punishing Caitlin, if they keep hiding injuries and handing out selective fines, fans will no longer ask if Caitlin leaves but when. And that's the terrifying truth. The WNBA had the golden ticket of a generation, and instead of protecting it, they've turned Caitlin's career into a rigged game that could end in one of three chilling scenarios. She stays and burns out, she bolts to Europe for glory, or she pivots to golf and never looks back. And the scariest part for the league is that every single option feels not just possible, but inevitable.